Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Duckling Boot Camp. Hooray!
Hooray!
My name is Lord Fizzlebeef. Joining me in the booth is DM Stewart. How's it going, DM Stewart?
It's going well. It's going well. Going well.
So, it's Free Enterprise Week.
It's a fun. It's a fun flag set. It really is.
Would you care to take us through some of the introductions?
Sure. So, free enterprise means it is very similar to the Final Fantasy IV randomizer. So, if you are already familiar with that, that will be a big advantage. It is the usual 4 orbs required. We have a short Topher with all fiend refights with an exit. So we've seen all of these are things that we have seen before in boot camp. So if we head down to the scaling, our gold and stat scaling is similar. Our boss HP scaling is bumped up just a little bit.
Yeah, 80 to 200 is when the top end of boss health goes north of 160 or 170. That's when you start running into the possibility of the dangerous 4,000 health chaoses or the 2,000 health Tia 2s, etc.
2,200. Because Tia 2 base health is 11.
Is 1,100. Yep.
Now, here's the big thing to note. The big couple things to notice on this. Progressive scaling 10% per item. We've seen that. XP and gold boost is bumped up. Triple XP plus 100. So that's bumped up pretty nice. Also, you notice there's no random encounters. No land encounters, no sea encounters, no dungeon encounters. You will have to find a grind somewhere. So what will you be looking for?
I will be looking for, depending on whenever there's no encounter table, there's no encounter table to work with, the first question I always have is, am I going to have to deal with marked boxes? The second question I then ask myself is, what kind of tiles do I have to work with? The information from both of those is going to determine what I'm looking for. Sometimes marked boxes are present, but they're local formations, and that's not something I want to tango with most of the time. At that point, I'm going to be looking for tiles. If I'm looking at A-side tiles, but we have some spicier box encounters, I might want to take a few more of those to try and get my levels, rather than trying to wrestle with, single Agama kills forever.
Right.
It really depends on the seed, and I will definitely verbalize my thoughts when we get down there in this particular flag set.
Very helpful. So we've got all of the incentive locations. Our NPC, all of our NPCs, ice, ordeals, marsh, titans, earth, volcano, sea, sky, and all both locked and cardia.
Very important detail to note. Everything is vanilla, which means that I know which boxes everything's going to be in. It's just a question of what other boxes I kind of want to open while I'm at it.
Also, with our progression, with our items, it's all of our usual progression items, but something to note for you ducklings. You note the floater, canoe, ship, canal, bridge, tail, all grayed out. We'll go into why that is, and it's all the gear except the massa. We'll go into what that is. Early open progression. All of this is pretty standard.
Yeah, all of this is...
And
it's okay that all of this is off because... Oh wait, it's not on this one.
it's not on this one yet.
Yeah.
This is all the very standard things that we have seen before. No Bahamut's Horde. So unlike the Monday Duck, the 103 flags, you won't see all the chests sitting behind Bahamut. So you will still have to go to all of the Bahamut, all of the Cardia Island caves. And I'm sure that Fizzle will show us the actual vanilla, quote-unquote, incentive chest.
Yep.
In Cardia.
Yep. We do have Lefinish Hospitality. We do have the Lefane Superstore. Lefane Superstore is always, always, always something to try and keep in the back of your mind for, can I get all of my endgame magic shopping done in one trip eventually after promo? Yeah, question in chat, with Superstar on, do you focus that instead of towns for spells with free airship? No, and here's why. No, and here's why. There are 2 towns that we need to negotiate first, because they have essentially free key items in them. We got Provoca, we got Crescent. Because we need to hit those no matter what, and one of them's going to give us early magic we want anyway, and because double dipping Lefane is the worst, in my mind, I'm putting that Lefane check off until I've ticked off every box on the checklist. That's have Slab translated, that's be promoted, that's have the cash to potentially buy like 4 levels of magic at once.
So, as Odron points out, it's a lot of knowledge and comms right here, and there's me as well. Here's where you were looking at.
Yes. So, it doesn't matter that most of our map changes are off, because we get a free boat, we get a free airship, we get a free bridge, we get a free canal, we get a free canoe, we got free travel, everything. There is nothing limiting our travel around the map. Like, and we have a free tail. Like, so many freebies.
So in theory, you could start the game, fly directly to Bahamut and promote.
What an interesting bit of foreshadowing. As we look also, we noted that Mazza was not incentivized, but it still sort of is. It is in the endgame, a guaranteed endgame Mazza with a war mech guarding it. If we really, really, really want it, we can go get it. And it's also worth noting that in terms of trapped boxes, there is only one. It is the war mech box. So checking for fights on boxes, now off the table. We are locked to essentially looking for tiles to solve our level and experience problems. Oh,
yes.
Yep. We also have fetch quest rewards turned on. Always one of those cheeky flags where if you're not careful, it'll get you.
So, yeah, that's... We also are including caster and elite gear in the shop shuffle. So that'll be easier to explain when we actually see something.
Yes. Other than that, this tab looks pretty standard.
Yes.
So down here on the enemies formations tab, we have all runnables. Everything, we run from everything. We have a patrolling war mech, which means we will find it on the 4th floor of Sky instead of up top. We have buffed pirates. Now, buffed pirates really undersells the horrors that will occur with this pirate fight.
Yeah.
Buffed pirates takes our good friends the pirates, who, you know, 1 hit, 1 damage, 5 health. No. Now we have several hundred health pirates that will swing like high teens fighters, the lot of them. They're not unsafe, so we won't have a script, but they ain't gonna need a script. They will just beat us down. So that will be a problem to solve in order to get the Provoca item.
Something else to note on here, we have alternate fiends.
Mm-hmm. Our wonderful alternate fiend pool. Instead of a Lich or a Carry or a Tia, in this example we have a Salamand. They are alternate bosses that will show up in place of the fiends. The way these generally work is that they will... So, let's take Lich, for example. Something shows up, Lich has fun cosplay for the day, Lich is now, I don't know, the Black Knight. It will still have the same resistances that Lich does. So we're going to resist ice, we're going to resist death. But it will have a different weakness. And that weakness will be gone in the sort of Lich 2 form, but the same resistances will still be there. It will pull the same basic stats behind it. So base Lich has 400. Base Lich has 400 health. Base Black Knight cosplaying in the Lich spot will also have base 400 health. Question chat, where is the flag for which fiends it will draw from? The flags are down below it, but since it is just the alternate, I believe this is just the old-fashioned alternates. So that's... how to put it? They are strong. They impart a sort of fear in me that will get me to sit up and pay attention. But with good, solid preparation, they can easily be taken down.
This is just an aside. I always like using the Final Fantasy IV alternate fiends when I'm doing free Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems appropriate.
We have...
The other thing I see on...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. The other thing I see on here is Fight Bahamut.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Fight Bahamut. If we want that promo, we are going to have to fight a Bahamut. In general, the way I've had it described to me is that an unbuffed Bahamut that you have to fight is kind of equivalent to, like, a really bad Rankilo. Like, it's big, it's got a lot of MDef, it's got a lot of armor and health, but it's not, like, Fiend 2 territory of, like, unmanageable. A buff Bahamut, that's... We're kind of running around in, like, parallel Tia 2 territory, but with, like, War Mech melee.
Buff Bahamut is bad news.
Yeah. Buff Bahamut also pulls from the Fiend 2 pool, whereas the regular Bahamut, I believe, just has the same... It pulls copies of scripts and spells from the regular enemy pool, not the bosses, I think.
It's a flag I don't play on all that often, so...
We also have one other note is that scripts are shuffled, but skills and spells are not shuffled. So the scripts are intact. Where they go is what they're going to be, but there's going to be no surprises. So if I run into something that casts X for turn 1, run. Just run. Run screaming. Run for your life.
Trap tile pools are B-side.
Yes.
B-sides can be pretty juicy.
B-sides are my favorite. I have a list of what I consider to be the top 10 B-side encounters. So expect random number references as we go, with more joy associated with better numbers.
So are you looking for that third eye grind?
That's a number 10 encounter. I'm partial to 3 to 4 worms myself.
Oh, yeah, there's that one too.
So, party composition, I get 2 of my choice, and then I get 2 nuns. Or do
but
I?
you will get the opportunity to recruit. Because if you remember, Final Fantasy IV, you start with 2 characters. And then you recruit characters along the way.
Unfortunately, Final Fantasy IV can count to 5. We cannot. But expect me to fill out the party as we go. And one quick check back up here for experience is nuns do not gain experience. Deads do not gain experience. So this is going to be something I'm going to want to fill much sooner rather than later.
Right. We are not having our black belt crit rate, which makes the black belt lover very happy. 80 agility on the thief, no lock picking. Invert all MDEF growth. So let's talk about that.
Sure. So the one everybody knows is we got black belts. Their black belt form is 4 MDEF per level. Their master form is 1 MDEF per level. This is unfortunate, and so the one helpful thing is that this flips that. The black belt is now 1 MDEF per level, but if we promote as soon as we can to a master, we are going to get 4 MDEF per level. Now everybody else, fighters get the short end of the stick. They go down from 3 to 2. I believe thieves get an upgrade. They go from 2 to 3. And mages, I believe vanilla mage MDEF is at 2. So I believe they go up to 3.
That sounds right. But there's a table. There is a table if you open the...
Hey!
So yes, Thief and Ninja, and all of the mages are +3. Fighter Knight is +2 per level, and switching over from Black Belt to Master is 4.
When in doubt,
so it's
always
5
hit the
minus
question mark.
base.
Yep.
Yes.
We also do have some class blessings. We have 2 bonuses, with one of them possibly being innate magic bonuses. As is tradition, innate magic bonuses will roll as level 8 spells. You will get 2 charges of them. Regardless of whether or not that class gets level 8 charges normally, they will now have level 8 charges for whatever spells fall into that innate magic bonus.
Other than that, this looks pretty standard. We'll get an AoE caster item.
Yep.
And the Explorer pack, which is what we've been getting.
Yep.
-3 to +5 on gear.
Seems fine. Vanilla item magic is unexciting, but represents a level of comfort I find very nice.
Yes.
And then our elemental damage bonus is at +30, which is pretty standard for how we tend to run a lot of our flag sets. It's a lot of boost, but it's not into insanity territory. No surprises in the game adjustments and bug fixes. Everything that should be here basically is here. And no surprises out of the experimental flags either. Quick add weaponizer to the flags to make them crazier. Nope. Also, I already rolled them. So, let's see. just exactly what kind of nightmare I have rolled for myself today. So we got fighters with Hurt Dragons and plus 20 MDef. Hurt Dragons is good, borderline
Hurt
great.
Hurt Dragons is really good if we know we have to fight. If we know we're gonna have to fight Bahamut.
Yep. We got Thieves with improved Cat Claw and plus legendary swords. All equipable things for the Thief today. Improved Cat Claw definitely being unfortunately overshadowed by just handing them an X-Cal, but the option is there if we happen to find one sort of cheap early.
Well, yeah, that is definitely overshadowed by the ability to just hand them an X-Cal or something else really, really nice.
Black belts with elemental plus magic, getting 2 of the 3 of Fire 3, Ice 3, or Lightning 3 with 2 charges. Very, very, very strong, but not exactly the speed that we're going to want out of the black belt for sort of the end game. Solves problems early, not so much later. Also, 40 health is a number.
Yeah. 40 health is a number. If we take a black belt, that 40 health is going to disappear by the end of the grind.
Red mages, 25 agility and 20 strength. Agility is inherent evasion, not terrible, nothing to write home about, but not terrible. 20 strength is a fun number because a red mage as sort of offhand melee, in encounters where you're looking to conserve magic, you generally want them on melee, and this makes that melee much, much better than it would ordinarily be. So it's kind of it's a very strong buff to your C plan.
It's a very strong buff to the backup plan.
Yeah. White mages, they get plus 20 vitality, and they get equipped white shirts. I have been handed a memo from management that I am not to trash talk white mages as much as possible.
Yes, please do not completely trash talk white mages. This white mage might actually be useful with the plus 20 vitality.
I endorse your stance on the matter. As we move on to Black Mage, we get free temper and we get Wood Set Evade.
Yeah, that looks real good.
Yep. Now, we've got starting party. Exactly what do we want to do with the starting party? I know exactly where I'm headed. I want hit dragons in the face, and I want sometimes run from things, and also get the good magic as fast as possible. So that's the starting party. I see a call in chat for Thief Black Mage. Thief Black Mage is also good, however, I view Thief as sort of a utility pick, and yes, they get legendary swords, but a lot of their utility is in running, and that's not something we need for them. I'm looking to carry something into my few and far between combats that's going to end them as fast as possible, and I've traditionally had terrible luck with thieves and ninjas doing that, so we're going to stick with fighter. But I'm going to call some shots out of my 2 nuns. We're going to throw in a stab. That is code for thief. I'd like one eventually, just not out of the gate. And I'm also going to call...
I would have considered that... I'd have considered the black belt.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have considered looking for a black belt.
I understand the impulse to lunge for the black belt. However, my goal today is to offer an alternate sort of suggestion, in that the world is our oyster with a lot of these kind of boxes. We know Better Trap Treasure is on. We know where some decent things are going to be. I would be remiss if I did not attempt to display speed and power, so we're going to outrun black belts is what we're doing today.
No, that's a valid choice. I would consider the black belt. I would consider the black belt, given that all grinds are free.
Yes, I definitely, like, B-side tiles with black belt, yes, you can definitely find something that will get the party going, but I'm choosing an alternate approach because I find it more interesting and more fun. Alright, let me...
No, there's... With the way that these Blursings rolled, there's really not a wrong choice.
There really isn't. There's very solid across the board. Okay, without further ado, let's get Yawn Party started as we count down from 5. 1, bleh. Let's see what we got in our first town. Oh, let's see what our... We got a Bane Sword. Not glamorous. Not my first choice for an AoE item. We got Heal 3 and Cure 4. That's fun for later, but in the short term...
Ooh, we got Warping Fast.
We got Warping Fast. We... Right, that's where they are.
Yeah. Because he's...
I know.
Yeah, because the Black Mage isn't in the last spot.
Don't worry about it, I'm an expert. So let's go down to the armor shop, and here's where we're gonna find elite stuff.
Oh, Dargon armor already.
Dargon armor, ice armor, solid iron helmet, which I think
I'm
gonna pick up now, because I'm going to be hitting some tiles eventually.
And don't forget about that Hint Giver.
And yes, hint givers are on, so let's see what the hint giver has to say. Kindly old king is hiding a ribbon. That will be excellent information for when I source a crown.
Yes.
Nothing there worthwhile. And there was... No, I'm not spending money on a large dagger. I'll spend money on a lot of things, not a large dagger.
Unless it's like +5.
Now, ordinarily at the start of the game, you head straight for Temple of Fiends, do a garland, yada yada yada. We got an airboat, and I got me a hankering for some free money. So let's head down over here. Oops, I accidentally clicked off a thing. Bane Sword can equip? No, cannot equip. Only promoted classes are able to equip the Bane Sword, unfortunately.
Oh. I was thinking fighter could equip the Bane Sword.
Nope. And there is our incentive TNT.
Is in that chest in vanilla?
Yes.
No, what is?
Oh, what's in that chest in vanilla? I'm not 100% sure. I just know it is the forest box over in the left room on the top right.
And money, and XP.
2 big experience boxes so far is neat, but not kind of what I was super hoping for. Now, as I've been picking up things, I wanted to source the vendor item. We've got it here. It's the cube. I can't afford it just yet. I was really hoping there was more money in Cardia than there was, but we'll come back for that. Let's head north a little bit, say hi to Sarda.
And let's source all the free items that we can source.
Pretty much. There's my dude with a white shirt. Are you going to... No. The thief is sick.
Nope.
The thief has a sickness, and that sickness can only be cured by removing a vampire. We'll come back to that.
Not Lich Ogron Vampire.
Yep.
To get for the one that you need the Lich kill to get is the one if it's in Crescent.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Zeus Bonk and an Aegis Shield.
It sure is. Ow. I have some ideas. Now, we got this white shirt.
I have some ideas too.
Oh, that white shirt is cheap.
I have the idea of selling that Bane Sword and picking up a Zeus Bonk instead.
9 times out of 10, I would agree with you on the idea of selling that there Bane Sword. However,
hint.
Oh yes, hint. We got an herb and the bottle. It's in Titan's Tunnel. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, chat calling light axe +5 is a thing. Light axe +5 is also a thing. But I have a problem.
You don't have the white mage yet.
No, that's not my problem. My problem is these here buff pirates. Now, they are very big. They have a lot of health. They are very angry. What they don't have is M-Def.
Aha.
And, well, we need that for later. That's not really a now-fixing problem. Anything good in here? Silver plus...
Or +5.
See if we can just... Nope. We'll be back for that in a minute. Drop a quick save.
Yes, that is one of the problems we have right now, Odron. We do not have enough cowbell.
Hello. Let's see if we can get lucky. The pirates are going to do many a thing, but as long as we get out there with Bane first, we just need to clear enough of these to render them not a threat for the rest of the turn 1, and then hopefully we can clean up turn 2. And that's how you take care of buff pirates.
That is a rod.
I'm going to reference the flag set real quick to see if I can replace other than nuns. Allow duplicates, recruits. I believe I can replace anything. I believe there's no restriction on replacements, so we're gonna take this here black belt. He's a placeholder. A placeholder so that this can start gaining experience.
Yes.
Sure. Anything down here that I want? Sort of. I want to move that pro cape down there, because I'm gonna want this here iron thingy.
Iron shield. We haven't seen the wood.
Oh,
we haven't seen any of the wood set yet.
We'll just get rid of that. No.
Don't forget your hint giver.
Yep. I've got my eyes set on just something to make my way through encounters. I've got a Bane sword for if I can't melee it, and I've got a silver sword if I can. Get a silk bag from the graveyard, duck to live longer. Wonderful hint from someone that we imported from Castlevania. So, we've now done essentially a loop. And with that loop, I'm going to head up. And now that we are ridiculous levels, we're going to take ourselves a Garland fight. Hey, we did it.
Hey, presto.
King Princess, what do we got? We got a slab.
Now, is that the thief?
That is a black belt.
That is a black belt.
We're loading up on them for placeholders.
I never remember what the recruits look like.
Now that was a speed bump. Yeah, basically. It's amazing what happens when you do Garland at level 15. Let's see. Anything fun in
Dargon
here?
sword.
I really like a ribbon. Ruse stick is a backup plan for later. Alright, not anything great. But, you know what? We're here.
You got validation gold.
And we've got better trap treasures, so let's take a look over here at what we got.
Whoa! Gurger Blaze.
Punishment for hubris. Punishment for hubris is what we have over here.
Oh!
Now, what we just learned here is that safety is very important, because when you start to take things for granted, the randomizer will let you know who's in charge.
As it did with that Blaze and was it
Blaze,
Stone Touch?
Blaze into Dazzle, and something in there had Stone Touch, yes.
Yeah.
Once more with Feeling, we're going to re-loot some of these things. We know that basically everything in there in the treasury was not something I'm interested in, except for the Ruse Stick, which I will take to encourage good safety habits. We'll see if I actually end up using it.
Yes, in chat they're reminding you to pick up the validation gold coin.
Oh, which one was that one?
I don't remember.
No.
But that money is going to be useful as we try to
there we go
for the cube.
Got there. We did it. We got.
I mean, there was the Dragon +1 sword.
So now that we've completed our basic loop, I look at what I've got in my inventory. We've got Herb TNT Slab as immediate fetches. I want to continue to chase fetch until I need to go elsewhere.
Now here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you consider taking the ship and canoe up to do ordeals and back?
Ship and canoe to do ordeals and back? No.
And then back to your airship.
Given, I don't want to say no to a fighter that's just sitting like right there. I'll double fighter before I black belt. So here's the primary reason is that we have no encounter table. Yes, technically you get to the faster dock faster, but there we go, free ribbon. That's what we're looking for.
And a wood helm.
More weapons. There's a free mage stick. We'll take the falchion +3 as a basic weapon, and I'm gonna take a mage stick or two so that I can start to consider some of these tiles. The black mage has its own magic repertoire. I don't see any need to give it one of those.
Yeah, there's a temper.
There is a temper. We like those. Armor. What do we got? Ugh.
The wood helm that we already have.
I have dreams of dungeons, so let's load up on heal pots. Hint Giver says, duh, the crystal's on Earth 3. Great. The timeliness for Bane is largely over. Stats do not scare me into lock, and I don't see a reason to give a Black Mage Saber or Slow. And that's all garbage. That will leave my brain shortly.
Yeah, that was hot garbage white magic at level 4.
Now I've got Warp, and I've got a key, and we've got 2 incentives in Marsh, and we're like right here. So let's go have a rummage about and see what we can yank out of Marsh Cave.
Now, I will say it was a reasonable question to ask about the about doing cheat, about doing the quicker way to ordeals.
It was a fair question. If we had an encounter table to navigate, that's a maybe. That's a strong maybe.
Speaking of no encounter table, I love how even though we have no encounter table, you are still using the minimized step routing.
Yes, it is about doing. It's easier to learn the habit than it is to like separate yourself from it. Ooh. We don't care if the black belt's gone. But boy, this sure is an awkward turn order.
Yeah. And okay, mucks must be the ones that are weak to lightning.
They are, but in terms of hitting them with things that they resist, if you hit them enough, they will go down. And Ice 2's base damage is higher than Fire, which is why I reached for that one. All that for a defense sword. Second ruse item is not terrible. Option B is, yeah, these are fine. We'll take a little bit of this.
See, did you consider when you were in the menu switching over? There's an XCal +5.
Yeah, it's a sword.
Did you consider when you were in the menu switching that mage stick over to the black belt or
No.
black mage?
No, because essentially, when I look at the mage sticks, those are a cost of around 6,500 gold, and I want to still reserve cash for when I hit magic shops because I feel like I'm going to be headed to Melman sooner rather than later. So I want to still have money for level 5 magic, and 7,000 gold to hand that mage a mage stick when I've got Fire 2 already 5 charges at level 2, I've got Ice 2 at level 3. That's enough to keep propelling me through the very limited number of encounters that I don't... the cost is not worth it.
Okay, it's a reasonable question to ask.
It is. This is a learning situation, definitely.
Even I'm learning because I tend to not get very good times on free Enterprise flag sets.
So I look at my inventory right now. I have the TNT, but I really don't want to go to dwarves until I also have the adamant. I've got the slab, so I can start the Melman stuff, and I've got the rod, which makes Earth Cave completely open. So with that all together, the play at this point I'm seeing is Melman into other stuff.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too.
So yes, I do have the key, but the key isn't holding anything. Right now, I'm purely interested in progression.
Is that nuke in the promotion spot?
It was not. I have it.
Okay.
Okay. So, shuffle fetch NPCs did not strike. We had nurse and nurse spot. We have un and un spot. And I've got a translated thingy-mabobber. This, I'll take a gold -2 bracelet for now. I don't have the cash for the pro rings, but those are on my radar as things
yes.
I want later.
Because safety is important. Danny in chat coughs that you have tail in XCal.
I do have tail in XCal. I don't have a surefire plan of how to tango with Bahamut. That's the only thing stopping me from going up there right now.
Now, does the Dargan sword and Hurt Dargan stack?
It does not. What it does is they both target the same thing. They both enable ideal damage to Dragon's flag, which I'm not going to full click this. But I would like another thing. So essentially, it's two things that are both turning on the single flag that says I do more damage to Dargans. Quick tile check just to see. Yeah,
No.
Huh.
No, very much no.
Say no. And I'll take that. Protect the fighter a little bit. Hello, vampire.
Let it meet shield up.
We're gonna see if magic can get there before melee does. No, bad magic, so let's just smash in. There we go.
Hack a thingum.
And there's our crystal. There's our next fetch destination.
Life Reboot in chat asks why there are so few encounters. There are so few encounters because this particular flag set, i.e. Free Enterprise, has the encounters turned entirely off.
I'm gonna indulge in my inner loot goblin just for a little bit, just to see if I can't yank some other fun item out of this room that has terrible... I mean...
It has terrible, terrible items in it.
Ice Shield is not awful. Like... Oh, and we can warp. That makes it faster if you do it before you walk out, like, halfway back. I'm not gonna bother with the other room. That is... In a situation where you're playing in a flag set where there's no encounter table, every step off the path to get boxes is a cost. And the cost I would have had to pay for those... What is with all the black belts? And the cost I would have had to pay for that... the cost I would have had to pay for that just was too much. I'm baffled at the state of this here regular Lich.
Thunder and damage poison and...
I mean, it's an off-center
Yowza.
Lich.
And Blizzard?
The fact that Lich is off-center is unnerving me, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen that way. Alright, but Lich is Lich, and anything can get through it, so let's go back, reinflate some party members, turn in a crystal, and see what happens.
That was still a challenging Lich.
I had a ribbon, everything was under control. Question chat,
You can, in fact, now grab the thief from Sark.
That's true, I can. But... I've already got double fighter. What I want is 2 melee. I want 2 melee, 2 mages. I have my 2 melee. And use Excalibur. Okay, so there's my loot. And there's a thief. I'm gonna say no, but also... We got some charges, we got some stuff. I think I have the pieces for a Bahamut kill. I think. This may look silly momentarily, but I think I've got... So what I need is I need something... I need a melee to boost. I've got my lead fighter with silver +5. I've got fast, I got temper. I have nuke as well to help just kind of push damage over the top. I have 2 ablative meat shields, which will do well standing in front of things. And I've got a ruse stick. All those together, I think I've got what I need. Ruse, fast. Okay, we've got a script. That's not good, but it started with gaze, and I think I'm okay with that. Okay, nope, Black Mage was not asleep. More things going our way.
Yeah.
Okay, we got our fighter to evade cap. We got our 3 ruse sticks. Poison
And damage
now...
poison.
That's a little rough. We got the buffs we got. 6 at 620. Okay, the X-Fer is exceptionally terrifying, but 2 big swings and we're through. And now?
Now, something to note. I'm not asking you to fight them, but something to note.
Yes.
Is that those 2 dragons that flank Bahamut
Yes.
are also fights.
Yes. Now, they are fights, and they will be a single dragon encounter. However, given that we have already had an exercise in hubris, I am going to take my ill-gotten gains and skedaddle.
So Life Reboot asks, what's X-Fer?
X-Fer is a spell that strikes terror in the heart of every rando runner. What it does is it removes all resistances that you have. In the case of for a player, if you have a ribbon and they landed X-Fer, you no longer have a ribbon. For that encounter anyway. with an enemy that has other unknown spells, scripts, etc. being slung around, truly a terrifying spectacle is that. Now, we've got Cash, and we're holding a chime. And we remember this cube lives up here. And we just upgraded into big boy damage. So, let's grab our cube. And let's go have ourselves a party over in Mirage Sky.
Are you going to check them? Are you going to check chests?
I may, for funsies, do some greed checks when I get to Sky. The Mirage rooms are just too far out of the way. I just don't like anything here. I might take some kind of not really... Ooh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to the number 3 tile. This is Gasty's, the 3rd best tile in the game. Now, yes, we may have lost one of our melee, and that's unfortunate, but sometimes I grade them on reward, not risk.
It is a bit of a risky tile.
Alright, let's just... We'll spend a nuke here. I want to be done with this fight. Or nuke can just do that. That's also an option.
Yeah, or nuke can just roll garbage.
Gas dragons are weak to ice, so I'm going to keep leaning on ice too and hoping for the best.
That looks like it just has a ton of MDef.
They do. Dragons naturally have 200 MDef, which is not great when you're trying to be a little cute with the X2 spells. Well, now we're back to this party, and everything's fine. Let's see if we can find another ribbon.
Yeah, this seed is kind of telling you to two-man.
It is... The thing is, I don't endorse two-man strats when you're just starting out, because the tagline for two-man strats is everything goes great until it doesn't. Like...
I mean, you're not wrong.
Actually, our magic is poor, so we'll do that. I'll do one little bit greed checks over here. Just, I would love to fish out another ribbon. No, we tried. Those are probably going to be the last non-incentive boxes I open. Howdy! Now...
So are you... Oh, just say no to crack.
Yeah, we, hubris, we used to remember what hubris is, and now we don't. So let's just, my chest plate's not equipped? We'll fix it in post. That's a lot of health on this Warmac.
Well, it does count as a boss, doesn't it?
It does. Well, that's...
So it could be up to 200% health.
Yeah. It's fine. Let me verify. Yeah, that's basically what I want. Okay. Now that's a... We got a white mage. That sure is. So now we got a Kraken. It feels like beans were shuffled rather than alternate.
It feels like cheeky Bane strats.
So, ordinarily, I would agree. Cheeky Bane strats are good in the case of I have concerns about making my way through a fight. However, I got an Excal plus 5.
This is true. We have an Excal plus 5. If we had a second character up, cheeky Bane strats would be a thing.
Mm-hmm. Question chat, how come you fight NPCs? What is happening? So one of our flags we have is it moves the war mech. Ordinarily, war mech is here on the Bridge of Destiny, and
You weren't going to get that white mage?
the what now?
You weren't picking up that white mage?
The who's the what?
Okay. I thought you said you were going to pick up a white mage.
Absolutely not. Where was I? Yes, patrolling war mech is one of the alternate settings of war mech, and it's one of those cases where if you want to take the fight, you best make sure that you have high amounts of confidence that you can make it through that fight. What is with all the black belts?
And that's an Opal Cheerio.
Armor for our secondary knight. Actually, remember how numbers work? Armor for primary knight. There we go. Now let's see. Magic. Gear 4. Skill 3. What was here? Nothing I want. What was here? We might be running ribbon light, so we'll take some wall. And then black magic. What am I still missing that I want? I have fast, I have temper, I have warp, I have nuke. The answer to that is nothing. Oh, alternate. Oh! Alternate without selecting will just shuffle OG Fiends. I thought it still pulled from the Nightmare rotation, but I am happy to know that it is no longer doing that.
Okay, so what you said something that is a really good thing to bring up and to emphasize. You said as you were looking at that when you were looking at getting black magic, what am I missing that I still want?
Yes.
I have this, nothing, and walked out.
Yep.
So that is something for our ducklings.
Hooray!
Hooray! That is something for our ducklings to keep in mind.
Yes.
It is a point that I make a lot when I'm doing VOD reviews as well, is instead of opening whenever you're opening chests that you don't need to, the question to ask is, what am I looking for? And also, lazy dwarves.
It was now at the point where I'm starting to run out of things to do, and I'm still missing some things that I would like. We're out of good places to hit based on what we've got. Like, we have the key, but we already did Canary Lock, we already did Marsh Lock, we did Rod, we did Sky. I'm still missing Oxyel. Oxyel is the one thing still kind of I'm waiting for.
Which means we're looking at either Ice, Volcano, or Waterfall.
Yes, and Waterfall is the most annoying to hit and the biggest problem if it comes up dud. So, we're just going to hit the dungeon I need to hit, being Volcano, and then I'll hit the dungeon I less need to hit, being Ice, and then I'll hit the dungeon I hope it's in, but it's not in, which is Waterfall, and then I'll go to Ordeals, where it's probably sitting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Ordeals.
One of the other habits
so
I can't break is following the lava tiles.
Yes, Life Reboot, this is a conscious choice to come here because you have to come here anyway. So you come here to save some time. Potentially.
It occurs to me I could have just used Gear 4s, however, I forgot I had them. I don't need nukes, I want to get through this fight as soon as possible. That's fun, but not worth sticking around for. 2 to 4 Agamas it does not crack the top 10 list, but it's not bad. It's just not what I want. Also, I have a level 30 knight. So there's Crown, so there's my incentive ribbon, which we will be picking up shortly.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's my
There's a red mage.
Hello to you. I don't know why I spent so much effort determining that, because we're just gonna smash in with Swing and Nuke, and there's not gonna... Oh, it survived! Well, good dang. Look at you. All fancy in your Sunday finest, able to survive more than one round.
As Odron points out in chat, Agamas are always doable until their script says no.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
Oh, wait. We've done Earth and Fire and Air.
Alright, so... we didn't get what we wanted out of Volcano. Let's see if it's an ice. Before we even worry about handling our turn-in for our ribbon, let's just see what's here.
Sorry, I'm not used to pushing buttons anymore.
Ice probably just a Vorpal. High chance of being correct. I'm gonna attack from this side because I would still like a fun tile. That's not a fun tile.
And I mean, if Vorpal rolls something decent, that is an Oxyale. That technically puts us actually into go mode.
Yep, that's not a fun tile. I mean,
that's not a fun tile.
I'll take it, but not because I'm a super fan of it. And one more for funsies. Trash. All trash. Absolute unmitigated trash.
There is one other tile.
There is, but the cost to get there is kind of a lot for the benefit of safety, because...
That's fair.
Yeah. Question shot. Didn't notice a loot in your inventory. Isn't it first in the list? It is. I am using the multi-instrumentalist flag. Today, my loot is a fiddle, which is pretty adjacent.
It's adjacent.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Vuvuzela, which is okay. That's a thing. Oh, did you just fight Nastos? I blinked.
There was some kind of humanoid-shaped object there just now, but it gone. Traditional crushing of Melmond. As we do a little bit of late-game shopping. We got a red mage. But it need magic. So,
you know, I've done the same. I do the same thing. It's nice to see that runners that are a ton better than I am still miss their landing spots.
Got my fast. Got my cure 4.
Interested to see you didn't pick up Warp on the Red Mage.
Warp is we're basically done with our uses of Warp. Yes, I still have Waterfall on the table, but with everything kind of in my inventory, in terms of like the necessary key items, I don't envision myself going there. So Warp as a spell is done. Wait, did I get everything? Fast Emperor New Cure 4, yep.
That's valid. I just was thinking ordeals. But we're in go mode. We don't actually need to do ordeals.
Yep. Question chat, with your level 21 fighter, are you actually looking for more experience? Well, first off, my boy 30, and second off, a level 30 fighter under its own power will struggle in a Topher with 200% health, especially with no life casts. So I would like a little more safety, and the best way to safety is experience for the rest of the party, which I will be tagging some Sharknado tiles, hoping for something magical. And if I don't get what I want here on my way to Topher, I will probably hit up Hall of Giants and see if I can't get lucky there.
So I'm curious as to why you. Well, I'm less curious as to why you didn't go to the incentive here, because it's way out of the way.
Don't need it, don't care.
Because but I am curious of why you're not thinking about trying to find a better weapon for that second knight.
So the second knight is really just going to be kind of backup damage, number one, and number two, if I really want to chase down something, there's that incentive Mazza out there.
Yeah,
well, not
there
incentive.
is Warmech Guardian of Mazza.
Yeah, there's Warmech Guardian of Mazza, and I've already trashed one Warmech. I could trash a second one. Alright, well, 4 tiles were just absolute unmitigated garbage, so we're just going to move on. What is with all the black belts? So we gon' double melee, double swing. Our fast's happening well after the nick of time. Swing, swing, tamper, tamper. I should not be splitting my tempers like this. That is a bad, and luckily, the game is here to cover up for my mistakes by just smashing in for over 1,000. Let's go. Checking my heal bots.
It was you rolling the seed, realizing I was going to be on comms and wanting to get black belts because I love them.
Mm-hmm. I am saying no to temptation. Looking at my levels now. Knight, great. Knight, cool. Knight, awesome. Knight, not soloable in a Topher like this. The Black Mage is not looking terribly great either, and I've got two... My other classes are at 15. I am unconfident in single diving a Topher, so I'm gonna check a few more tiles. My first stop is always going to be Earth Cave, because we got one here, which is not super, but I probably should have took it.
It's not super, but it's not awful.
Which
there
is
we
a
go.
Thing.
Hello.
1 to 2 Iron Galls is the number 5 tile. No, number 4 tile. One behind the Gasties, but the problem with it is that if there aren't 2 Iron Galls, it's a little oof.
I mean, Iron Gall is still very good.
Question chat, what happens when you do talk to one of the characters behind the orb? It opens up a dialogue box that allows me to replace one of my 4 characters in this party with the character that was displayed. So for example, there was a black belt there. I could have replaced anybody in this party with a black belt if I really wanted to. It then replaces them at the same amount of experience that the replaced character had. So if they were level 20, you throw in a black belt, it's now level 20. This math will go wonky if you have different experience growth for different classes, but that's not in this flag set, so simple math is just you replace it as the same level. And it treats it as having leveled up from 1. So in this case, if there was... I think that's good enough. If you replace... it with something like a fight, with like a knight that gets charges at 15, 17, etc., and you replace it up to like 21, it will get those charges at the relevant levels. So this can be a way to sort of, if you promoted late, you can get those in your party. Where you can get the charges on the character. Hang on. Oh yeah, I never equipped the ribbon. You want a ribbon. I don't have a life caster. You have... You get a that, and it doesn't matter what you're wearing.
Wait a minute. You don't have a life caster? How's Kraken 2 gonna know who to punch?
Yeah, there's an error, so it just doesn't. Haha. Game in the system. Mormac at the top end of the stats, and I'm not a fan of that. We lost the red mage, but this is whatever. We get levels on the two things I want. We break 25, we get a Mazza -1, LOL. Let's sort it out real quick.
It's still Mazza.
Let's go reinflate our red mage as we move that to there. You're gonna need that at some point.
Ooh, it's a Mazza -1. But it's a Mazza.
It's a Mazza, yeah. Mazza -1 is like a Corvette with a ding in it. Like, you're still gonna drive it.
Whereas Vorpal -1 is a Pinto.
Yeah, this party, I think, could make a Vorpal work. I've got a lot of buffing horsepower.
Yeah, you need it.
First fight. Thunder coming in is not super, but damage going out is LOL. I'm going to use my heal pots in order to reserve my Cure 4 charges. It does take more time, but it doesn't leave me surprised later.
That is what I do. That is what I do as well. Cure 4 is for use in battle. Life pots or heal pots are for use outside of battle.
Kablam!
Life Reboot asks, how do you remember all these things?
In terms of being in the community, Miyamo Ancient.
I was going to say, in my case, it's a lot of muscle memory.
Yeah, repetition and memory dumping childhood memories and learning about new things. You know, you say, how do I remember things, but already once so far in the stream I've gone, oh, that's how that flag works. So it's a constant learning experience. You take it in chunks. Onward to the fourth fight. Opening with Nuke is not something I would like, especially when it takes out the mage that I wanted. But our melee is here. Let's top off Red Mage just in case. It's gonna get stopped, but But Frizzle, how did you know that the Red Mage would get stopped? Because its MDef is trash right now, and basically anything will tag it.
Do you want to put the ribbon on it? Onto the Red Mage?
Actually, we're going to throw that ribbon onto our other knight, and we're going to use the Red Mage as an ablative meat shield. We are also going to swap Excal with Mazza, because my intent is to buff that Mazza into orbit and attempt to make it through this fight before... Oh, that's right, alternate final boss. Okay, new plan. The new plan is... double rusing? Double rusing. The evil men have like 200 MDF, so we ain't gonna bane them down. But also, I don't like the look of that Warmech script.
Yeah.
Come on, survive. That's not okay. I think I have one more to get to evade cap. Okay. Please heal self. Please heal self. Please heal self. Please heal self. I would like you to heal yourself. There you go. Thank you.
I think it is the Chaos script.
I believe it is the Chaos script, which means we do have nukes eventually. You do not have AoE capabilities because I bought the wrong thingies, so therefore, I'm not threatened by evil men. I am threatened by war mechs, so I will start the damage party there. Alright, so Stab has been relieved of his damage dealing capabilities. But Hit, who has the most of the most, is fine. For varying definitions of fine.
So the main thing that's happened is Slow 2 got through on Stab. Which makes Stab... Oh. And there's that Cure 4.
Yeah, there is a Cure 4, but it's fine. Okay, double Cure 4 is not super. I would love to have another script from... Okay, we didn't get that. I didn't get what I wanted. So...
But if,
there needs to be a pivot.
But if they were back-to-back... Because both Cure 4s just went out.
Yes.
So you've got some time before they come back out.
Correct. However, once the Cure 4s come out, they cease to be the primary problem. The primary problem is now a nuke on the horizon, which I would very much like to avoid.
I mean, that's valid.
The Cure 4 gives me a lot of safety. The Crack also very much delays me from the next terrible spell in the spell list. I'm gonna go in on melee until Stab gets south of 450, at which point I will deploy another curative spell. My goal is to bum rush down one of these two war mechs. The evil men are just consuming time. Like, they are not capable of doing anything I care about. In a race situation, I would have considered resetting, having discovered it was Warmech and Friends, just to ensure that I bring AoE down to the end, but do not like that.
Do not want.
Okay. The situation has improved. Let's drop some self-heals and prepare to take down the second one.
So there is a good question in chat. Wouldn't killing the evil men be better to shorten the fight?
If I had a good way to do it, yes. Unfortunately, right now my AoE potential is a Mage Stick, and evil men have maxed out MDef and a pretty sizable amount of health compared to what that Mage Stick is going to be doing. And the time I spend killing evil men is not time. It is time that the war mechs are going to rifle through Chaos's script, which is bad. Okay, both war mechs down. We are now in the home stretch of the fight. It's now just cleanup.
Life Reboot also makes another good point in chat. I think there is a chance the Warmech's Cure 4 hits one of the evil men, which means it doesn't hit a Warmech.
True, although I don't know how intelligent the Cure 4 targeting is. And there we have it.
And that'll do.
Not the fastest clear, but I would say I played safely, and I was rewarded for that safety by getting ambushed by a final boss fight I was not prepared for. Double chaos scripts on war mechs that roll close to max health is a bad time.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not a fun time.
and yes, as Saracen points out in chat, war mech has threats. Another slow 2 could come out and it would hit the second night. If a slow 2 hit that second night, that would be the end of the fight. That is a reset. There is no recovery from that. Yeah, that's how you panic and pivot into a war mech and friends fight. Overall, I think that was a pretty decent exhibition of how to tackle free enterprise. A lot of
I think it was.
non-traditional routing is what's really going to kind of set you apart. Prioritizing like the free boxes and the free checks early, solving problems as you're able to, not like trying to follow a like I need to hit these dungeons first kind of routing, and keeping an eye on your go mode so that as soon as you hit it, you can just drop everything and go.
Yes. Yes, once you have this is not the easiest. This was not the easiest free enterprise.
Yeah, with 4,000 black belts for recruitment, yeah.
We also learned the importance of saving after killing Garland.
Absolutely, 100%. Hubris is the stealthy killer. It will get you eventually.
Yes, it wasn't the Grogers that killed you. It was hubris.
Yes, the Grogers were just the instrument.
No, that was a very good demonstration of how free enterprise can work, and how free enterprise can be good, and how free enterprise can destroy you.
Yeah.
Odron in chat points out, knowing that it's Warmech and Friends as the end boss, he likes Thief over Fighter even more because you have chance of nukes on the ninja.
I understand the rationale there. I would only point out that it is a 50-50 chance of getting nukes on that ninja, which, I mean, if you like coin flips, it'll work, and if you don't like coin flips, whoo doggy. But also, one very important thing to point out is that we didn't know it was Warmech and Friends as the final boss. I just went back to the flag set. It is random for the final boss, so could have been Warmech and Friends, could have been Double Dragon, could have been
could have been Double Dragon. Could have been Double Dragon, in which case you absolutely want the two things that have hurt dragon. It could have been the Snake Pack.
Oof. Could have been Sahag Nightmare.
Yeah, it could have been Sahag Nightmare. Yes, also 50-50 with fast. Odron asks, whack a Garland?
Yes, one of the...
where you have...
No, go ahead.
It's where you have 9... It's where you have 9 Garlands out there, but one of them, and you don't know which one, is a Chaos.
Question chat. Wait, how many alternate final bosses are we talking here? The full list is 6. So Warmech and Friends is one that we did. Double Dragon is you have to fight a Carry 2 and a Tia 2 in the same fight. The next one is The Fun Dead, where you have to fight 2 Lich 2s, but 4 Phantoms, all in the same fight. Next up is Whack a Garland, which is 9 Garlands that all look identical, but one of them is Chaos. Then there's the Sahagan Wagon, which is Kraken 1 and Kraken 2, 3 Red Sahags, 3 Wiz Sahags. But really the highlight is the Kraken 1 and the Kraken 2. And then the last one is Snake Pit, which I believe is Tia 1, Tia 2, 3 Cobras, 3 Asps.
T1, T2, and 6 of Cobras and Asps in
Mm,
some combination.
hmm
Oh, and Fun Dead. Fun Dead can be awful.
Yeah. Thought it was Lich 1 and Lich 2. No, it is very much two Lich 2s. Um, I know this because sometimes they roll a bad script and there's two problems to deal with.
And Wrong Eyes, too.
Yeah. Four Phantoms. Like one Phantom is just you just hope nothing bad happens. Four Phantoms is a problem, and it needs
Yeah,
to be usually addressed before the Liches are.
agreed. So,
Okay, well, I think
final thoughts?
free enterprise is always a good palate cleanser from a lot of the other flag sets that are out there. Um, it's not 100% my favorite flag archetype, but it's definitely up there. Like definitely top five for sure. Really flexes the routing brain in ways that you're not used to.
Very much so. Um, Free Enterprise is an enjoyable flag set. It's one I'm not very good at. Um, I'm better at the more traditional flag sets, but it is a very interesting routing challenge,
hmm
and it forces you to do things differently and think about things differently, which makes it fun. So Life Reboot in chat asks, what does this flag set help you get good at if there are no encounters? It helps you get good at knowing where all of the trap tiles, all of the forced encounter
hmm
tiles are.
hmm
It also helps you get very good at knowing what you can get to when, what
Yes,
items open what.
yes. This is an excellent exercise of pure routing and less um, inventory and like resource management. It is, yes, as Saracen puts it, it is an exercise in constructing the minimum viable game plan. Now, I opened like 50 boxes because I decided to take a safer route and show that safety isn't, even when I take the safe route, it's not opening every box. It's I pick and choose my boxes, and then when I believe I have what I need to safely cross the finish line, just go for it. But I think more aggressive runners would definitely see this as a challenge to just ignore everything, open the minimum number of boxes, be that 5, 6, 7, 10, however many incentive boxes you hit, um, and then just take a black belt and solve the end game problem that way.
Yeah, black belt might have been a really good solution, especially with how many black belts the seed was throwing. Might have been a really good solution to solve Warmack and Friends.
Yeah, I could have rolled in with 4 black belts, but um, I have dinner to eat tonight.
Yes. Go eat your dinner. Um, so that is free enterprise. Thank
hmm
you all for coming.
hmm
Thank you all for thank you Dark Moon Dark Moon. Sorry, very sorry. Thank you Fizzle for both running and restreaming.
I'd rant about Castlevania if I knew how.
um, Thank you again, everyone, for coming. Thanks for all the great questions in chat. And on behalf of the whole team, here, Lord Fizzlebeef, and myself, who've done basically all of the restream tasks tonight, the Final Fantasy Randomizer community as a whole, I have been DM Stewart 1981. Good night, everybody.